Alright, so went to my local comic book store, got the grab bag stuff, which tends to be the back stock, any extras, anything that they can't seem to sell. And I'm gonna go through the pile, see what I have. And yeah. Alright, so I think it was 2 packets of grab bags I got for the DC stuff. So, or 3, probably 3, and I'm thinking about it. So, I got Nightwing, which I've read up that far of how many of those I have. New Superman, got 3 of the same issues. Hellblazer, 3 of the same issues. Whatever this is, Wacky Raceland, which I don't know what it is, so, might as well take a read through it. 2 of Midnighter and Apollo. I've never read it before. I don't even know what it is. Then Deathstroke, at least they're different issues, which I've read a few of them, which seems good. And there's a Justice League one. This is the first arc, and if I remembered, it was interesting. But hey, I got no clue what this is. I mean, it's in order. Looks like Constantine's there. I don't know. And then Superwoman. I've never read one of these, so this should be interesting. So, if I remember, it was, again, 3 or 2, whatever. I know there was more count for the Marvel stuff. I bit off more than I can chew, because this isn't all of it. There's a pile right there, too. But, so there's Amazing Spider-Man Civil War 2, Civil War 1. I'm not sure which one that is. I'm going to have to do a little bit of research. Then there's an X-Men one, number 4. And then there's regular Amazing Spider-Man. And then Choosing Sides. I think I wanted to read that one when it came out originally. I got 2 different Inhumans. One's all new, and one's the Uncanny. I'm assuming it has to go in that. I honestly don't know. And the next set is a Captain America. Captain Marvel, which I'm pumped to read that, because I love the Captain Marvel stuff. A Chewbacca, which I believe is a number 1, so that's fine. A-Force. I have no clue, but it's number 1. Armor Wars, again, a number 1. So this actually helps a lot if I actually want to read the series, which I don't think I will. Battle Worlds, Age of Ultron versus Marvel Zombies. That, I think I might actually really want to read now. And an all-new Wolverine. The difference is a lot of these are number 1s compared to the DC stuff, which just floats around in the middle. I want to start with the DC stuff. So I decided I'm going to avoid the Nightwing stuff, because if I remember when it started to get to 11, I cut off at 15, I think, or 20. The arcs just started to not interest me. And if I remember right, I was so confused when I read this one, because it was a tie-in that I had no clue what was going on. And it was just, I don't know what it was. And yeah, I got uninterested when it got a little later in. And again, I love Dick Grayson, so that says a lot that I had stopped it. Alright. So I read it first, I had to. And it being a number 2, I'm really confused, but I'm still even though I've read through a lot of the comics, I'm still confused with Lex. I'm still confused why he's a Superman. So, he blatantly states that he's Superman. I do remember that their Superman on that world died. Somehow. And then this one came before they fixed up stuff and blah 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 from a different world. And I do like the little tie-ins they have. I mean, and it seems like that none of the comics seems to forget that there's a Star Lab somewhere. There is one curious thing that I have, and it's with Steel. Is that's a helmet. He takes it off later, and I actually found that a little surprising, because I thought he was just normally literally that, just Steel. And I remember hearing that there was a Superwoman that was Lois Lane. This one's Lana Lane. And from my understanding, Lois Lane disintegrated. And Lana Long or something like that. But if I remember right, she's normally used as a character that they just put in when they don't want to use Lois. But there's one little connection that I love, and I've actually read the and it's Batwoman with whoever her name is. I actually did read the Batwoman one shot that came out when it originally did, which I think was at the beginning of the year. And if I knew there was that connection, I would have maybe actually read this. And I just got more and more confused as I kept on reading. It just happened. But I mean, how number 2 ends, I actually love. I love Trinity. And from my understanding, it might be that Lena, whatever. Lex's sister might have been dead, which, you know, it seems to be a popping up resemblance. So I don't know, but definitely interesting. Also, I'm just gonna do a few at a time, and I'm gonna do different parts. We'll go up on different days because there's no way I'm getting through all this in one day, and you guys would get really bored if that was the case. So I know I'm not doing justice with the reviews, but that's what this is for. This is to get my bearings on the stuff. And the cover, I mean, that's creepy as fuck. Sorry for the swearing, but yeah, that happens. And it's just, wow. Alright, so I do remember reading this. And I do remember, I remember the arc has something to do with Legacy at the moment, which is the current arc. But there's one thing I want to point off the bat, and it's the fact that I believe there's been 4 to maybe 6 separate occasions between the Justice League issues and the Trinity issues where they've had to where Batman has had to rescue Lois and John. So, yeah, that was one thing. And then, I don't know why I got this in the grab bag, because, I mean, because it's just kind of a little bit of a random one. But if I didn't already read this, I would have been majorly confused. One thing I remember that wasn't really resolved or questioned were these guys. Were the cyber units that resemble Victor. It wasn't really resolved. I remember them being left on a desolated asteroid field, and I don't remember why. But now that I'm thinking about it, the thing, they were never really answered, and that actually annoys me. Alright. Honestly, I've read this one, so I'm not going to do much of a review. That was the issue I've had with it. The pros of it is it was a decent story arc. It definitely was. Especially since these guys are what keeps on reappearing in the Justice League arcs, whether it's mentions or not. Alright. 3 different titles. All of the Rebirth universe. Now, I know I didn't do the Nightwing, but I just remember those a little too well, and I mean, I would recommend up to 10. And then I can't say anything about the current stuff because I haven't read it. Because 11, it just started to get a little bit in my opinion. So I definitely recommend up to 10. Superwoman, just reading it, I'm a 50-50. I think I would get a few more issues. I mean, I would definitely get that first arc, see if I like it. But that would be it. And then I would go from there. Then Justice League. Now, I know that the arcs of Justice League is a hit or miss sometimes. But the first arc is, you know, your important arc anyways. It sets up the rest of the stuff. So I would definitely recommend the first arc. And then it's just, however you guys would want to go about the rest. Alright, so I'm going to cut it at 3. I will get to the rest of these on a different day. And, yeah, so I'll see you guys later. If you want to comment, let me know what you think about them if you've read them. Because, you know, opinions are different. Alright guys, see ya.